Hello everyone, Krydex here. Welcome back to pYanodon's Season 3. In our last episode, we were working on getting gasoline going for ARCADs. Well, more for natural gas for ARCADs. And then I just now discovered we're having an organic solvent problem because we're out of naphthalene. Which is a bit of a problem. And we're out of naphthalene because we don't have enough creosote. So all of the naphthalene is going to creosote. So I don't really know what exactly is going on here. But it's not good. It looks like we've got enough organic solvent though. Like that's a full tank. So I don't know if it's coming in waves or what exactly is happening. But it seems like everything's flowing. I should probably put some alarms on this crap, just in case, but it's fine. It's fine. So anyway, gasoline's provided. That's now a thing. And so we should be able to process natural gas at this point. Over here somewhere. So why don't we grab a train, hop over there, we'll throw the compressor down. It's a beautiful morning with some iced coffee. I know that stirred up some drama in the comment section. Some of you think my wife is like the most brilliant person ever for drinking hot coffee in the summer. More power to you, strange breed of people. I will drink cold drinks when it's hot outside, like a normal person. No, I'm kidding. I don't actually gatekeep these things. I'm just having fun. If you like to drink hot drinks, more power to you. But I do not when it's hot outside. Anyway, what are we doing? Compressor right here. Compressor? I hardly know her. Sorry. I just don't know how to stop myself from making that dumb joke. Wow, 3 in, 3 out. That's a very spaghetti. Wait, that's not what we want. This is the one we want. Very spaghetti recipe. But wait, what was that other one? Oh, that's the refined natural gas plus gasoline turns back into condensates and naphtha. And the naphtha, or sorry, the condensates is the one that turns into refined natural gas at a 1-to-1. And then you get BTX and tailings out as well. And then you can turn that refined natural gas back into condensates at a 3-to-2 ratio, which means, how does that math work out again? Because you'd turn 100 back into 66, and then you'd turn 66 back into, you know, like how many cycles do you end up getting? Double? I can't remember the math on that. 2.5 total? What's the way to look at this? The way to look at this is that if you have 150 condensates, you really have, you get all of the outputs of that for only spending 50 condensates. So it triples your condensates, roughly. Because like if you have 100 condensates, you do this, and then you keep running it, you'll end up with triple what you started with. So 100 condensates will actually produce 90 BTX and 150 tailings. That's the way to look at it. And 100 condensates will end up producing double, because, you know, 300 condensates worth of stuff. So it'll produce 150 naphtha and 600 steam. Anyway, I don't need any of that stuff right now. That's just useful to know. Naphtha is mostly good for making tall oil, which I am gonna need soon. Have I ever made tall? I'm trying to remember. Aren't we making tall oil somewhere? Yeah, we are. Not very often. I think it comes from the thing, the fiberboard stuff. Anyway, we need to disconnect this. Hook that up. We need a requester. Get gasoline up in here. Oh no! I was worried about that. Shoot. Gasoline. Yeah, we'll go for the full amount. So this is unfortunate. Is there a space it will fit? It's one tile. Bummer, dude. If I just keep clicking, will it work? And it can't. Okay, yeah. I mean, it's just not possible. Unless we didn't have that signal. Shoot. Well, that's a sad day indeed. Oh well. I like how I'm so worried about like 2 tiles in the size of a pyanodon's base. You guys like that? I definitely like that. I think it's funny. I think I'm a bit ridiculous sometimes. Okay, so anyway, let's get this built as fast as possible because we need it yesterday. And then the gasoline gets pumped over to this guy who happens to have a lamp so we can see what we're doing. And then the nat gas is what goes. We're gonna need like a temporary holding cell. I can't craft any more of these, unfortunately. And then for now, I'm just gonna do some overflow shenanigans. Whoa, 100? What would be the point of 100% overflow? Unless I'm missing something. Anyway, yeah, let's get that going. And then we'll get condensates up in here. And we'll get naphtha up over here. And eventually we'll hook those into the train network when we have any need for them. But that need is not today. Just the gasoline for now. Alright, and this is gasoline for nat gas fluid request. Alright, we'll get there. God, these bots are so slow. I want this research so bad. That 35% will make such a difference. It's still not very much, though. It's a bummer you don't get very many worker robot speed upgrades. The Pinobot Construction Mark II is not even twice as fast either. So, like, the construction bots are slow in Pi, and they don't get fast quick. You know, I would actually love to see a slightly higher boost, you know, given how far apart these things are anyway. only having the one upgrade and it only being 35% in Pi 2 Science, and then you don't get anything for another really long time. I don't know, it just feels pretty rough. Like, Pi has a lot of other quality of life things that they sprinkle into the tech tree. You know, like better inventory, better ways to move around the base, better ways to, you know, do this or that, but bot speed, that's just pretty vanilla. I mean, I guess we do get higher tiers of bots, which is not vanilla, but I think you guys get what I'm saying. Okay, so gasoline should come any moment now. Yeah, here it comes. So that's on the way. I already want faster trains. Funny. There we go. Alright, nat gas is a go. And that will just go straight into here for now. Until it processes all of this raw gas. Which should all fit because it's 2-to-1 raw gas to nat gas. How long will that take? 10 minutes, exactly. Why did it stop? Oh, that's why it stopped, because that needed the RoboPort to be built. Anyway, I'm gonna go figure out what I am missing in my inventory, because we're missing some things. Ugh. We got random crap in our inventory. You know, I could start using my trash slots more effectively, now that I think about it. Like, I can fill those up while I'm riding a train, and then I can dump them somewhere later. You can even set up caravans to pick up from your trash slots, apparently. Okay. So let's see how many of these, Arcads we got. We got all of them. Sweet. Alright, let's not screw it up. Arcads and Arcad eggs are going. Let's go get that tailings dust. If we have any. Wait, where did I set this up? I thought it was over here. Where's our Nexalit? It's down further? Oh gosh. I'm lost in my own base. I thought the Nexalit was here. Is it further to the west? It is further to the west. It's all the way over by our old boilers. Okay, I got 22. That is enough for a single one. Now, if I need more, there are ways to get more. So, wait. Yeah, the gravel one. I was like, I thought there was something we could do. So we can just distill some gravel to get some more if we need it. And that's really easy. Okay. So I'm not worried about that. What else do we need? We need tailings dust. We need creosote, sand, coal dust, ash. Okay, so ash should be pretty easy to find. Done. Sand. A little harder to find around here, but I've definitely got plenty of it. And then what was the other thing? Oh no, they're trying to pick up my logistics. Now that's interesting. I did not realize when you turn off personal logistics, your trash slots are still trying to get emptied. That's actually kind of a bad news bears situation for me. I don't like that. I'm gonna grab 10 of these for my own purposes. Because that means even if you turn off logistics bots, they might still chase you all over creation. Just to try to get the stuff out of your trash slots. There's gotta be some sand in one of these, right? Oh, sand castings. Perfect idea, Krydex. There's some sand and some creosote. This is the perfect place for it. This is the perfect crime. So, comb. The coal dust. Easiest place to get coal dust. Unfortunately, that's not a super common thing, so we're gonna have to go on a little bit of a journey for that. But once we have it, that should be everything we need for the used comb, or sorry, the empty comb, which is different than a used comb. I think what slightly bothers me is that you can't melt down the empty comb. Or sorry, yeah. The unused comb, you can't melt it back down. You have to use it, and you have to fill it, and then empty the filled comb, and then melt down that used comb. It's kind of odd, but I guess it works. Whatever. Anyway, there we go. 7 empty combs coming right up. Now I did break this, so I need to undo that. And that's good to go. I hope 7's enough. I didn't actually pay attention. Yeah, I only need 5. Let's follow the whole chain here. We need 5 empty combs to get 5 filled combs. We empty them one at a time, so we'll get 5 used combs. And then 5 used combs with some hot air will get me 50 wax. And then 50 wax will get me... Shoot. I need more. I need 2 sets to get the first 10 empty honeycombs. And then those 10 will make me 10 arcad honeycombs, and then 10 arcad honeycombs will get... So those are like barrels, basically. They're like honey barrels that you... Which is not the same as actual honey barrels, because actual honey barrels are also a thing. They're natural barrels that you squeeze, but they get reused 100%. It's a closed cycle. Oh my gosh, what a mess. Okay, but that means I need more tailings dust, which means I need to undo that, actually. Put stuff back in, and then I need a DDC with some gravel. I wonder which one of these it is. This doesn't look like any of those. I wonder, is crude oil a good way to get gasoline? Do any of these turn into gasoline? High distillates are... mostly just condensed distillates and naphtha. Condensed distillates do make a little bit of gasoline and some petroleum, but that's not until... Okay, we can get that soon. But that's a pretty low ratio, because we're going 200 down to 50 and then 50 down to 12.5. So not a ton from the high distillates. What about the medium distillates? Medium distillates, you can upgrade to high, but mainly you get stripped distillates, which get catalyzed into benzene, cumene, fuel oil, gasoline, light oil with a little bit of... Wow, okay, so this is where it's at. The stripped distillates are the awesome ones. You do need a lot of tin chromium alloy or titanium tetrachloride, depending on which one you're going with, but tin chromium alloy isn't that bad to make. Chromium is kind of expensive right now because I haven't upgraded it at all, but it's not that bad once you get it going. And then finally, low distillates can be turned into BTX, coal gas, grease, Heavy oil. Like the really dense stuff. Lubricant, grease, kerosene. Heavy oil. BTX, which... Okay, interesting. And then there's the residual mixture, which... Oh my god, I remember looking into all this nonsense. But you get residual oil out of it, which turns into residual mixture. So really, it's all about the coking gas oil. And what does coking gas oil get you? Just an absurd amount of coke. So this is just a coke production. So residual oil is just about coke? That feels weird. But that's all it's used in. Residual oil goes to residual mixture. Residual mixture only goes to coking gas oil. Okay. So basically, you get a lot of coke out of your crude oil processing if you want to. And then the condensates we already looked at, they don't really have a way to make gasoline. And then shale oil, which comes from the kerogen process, can make gasoline. Not directly, but the light oil makes gasoline. And the heavy oil... kind of like the low distillate, so you can make kerosene and lubricant at least. I guess lubricant's not that easy. Heavy oil is mainly just good for kerosene and then some other random crap. Wow, okay. I'm gonna stop looking into that now. I'm gonna find the gravel recipe that we actually came here for. I'm not seeing it. I'm wondering if it's not available yet. What was I looking at? Tailings dust? Oh, you know, maybe it has a tar icon. There it is. Okay, let's go grab some gravel. Grabby, grabby. We should have some over here. Oh. Not as much as I hoped for. I guess we can find our gravel belt, maybe? There's not much on here. I need 50. Oh, come on. It'll be faster to just... Well, but it's not backed up. I guess there's a little bit of free gravel right here. Okay. Hopefully that's enough. Yeah, there's 88. But wait, that only makes 10 tailings dust. And I need 15, but I already have some. Whatever, we're just gonna go with it. I think I had 7 left and I only needed 15, right? Anyway, I need water. Okay, so there's that. Tailings dust. Yeah, I was right. Okay. So this should be all we need now to get started. Now hold on. So what I didn't do was the other loop. So we looked at the other honeycombs are a one-time loop. But what about these used combs? Five used combs make 50 wax. 50 wax. Does not make 5 empty combs. So this is actually a lossy process. Oh no. That being said though, we don't need, sorry, I'm just getting myself confused a little bit here. We don't need these types of combs, right? No, we do. Every time we make an arcade nest. We need an empty comb for an arcade nest. The arcade nest then gets us a used comb. And then the used comb needs to go back to being an empty comb. So, shoot. These ones, we just need to make them one time to have enough for the cycle. But these ones we actually need to continually provide more. Which actually means my other way of getting wax might be the way to go. Or was it? Wait, where's that other recipe? There, sugar. Bones and sweet syrup. Which just comes directly from tufa and lime and bones. Gets you wax barrels. Okay. The other option is to set this crap up. And just have a gravel input. The coal dust I could get from fiber. Sand I can get from dirt. Ash I mean, I can just request all this stuff. And I can make the tailings dust on site. And this actually makes tailings. Which I can then evaporate into tailings dust. Oh gosh. There's a lot going on here, not gonna lie. For now, let's divert some percentage of our gravel. This is not a permanent solution. AKA, this is a very permanent solution that will be here for 100 hours. And then we're gonna feed that, and then I'm gonna do that. Okay, that way we've got that going. Creosote's gonna keep getting fed in. I didn't break that. Sand, coal dust, I mean that should last a little while to get us at least a smallish stockpile of empty combs. If I really want this to look good, we're gonna add an evaporator on the tailings dust. And then we'll get rid of the acid gas and we'll get rid of the tar. And then the coarse fractions, I'll just have to ditch. Coarse fractions can be separated into stone, iron oxide, and gravel, which would get me some of the gravel back. But we're talking 50 gravel to 10 coarse fractions, which would get us like 2 gravel or something. What was it? Yeah, actually, literally 2 gravel. So we get 4% of our gravel back if we did that. Not really worth it. I guess if we also turn the stone into gravel, then we're getting like 8% of our gravel back. That's definitely non-zero, but I'm not mass producing it. This ain't pie hard mode, I don't care about that crap. Okay, so that'll get us some combs over time. There we go. Next on the list is going over to our raw gas, natural gas situation. Figuring that out. And then, I mean, we're getting there, y'all. I know this feels maybe like a long process, but it's all necessary. All right, there's the nat gas. So now what we do is we disconnect this. We pump in to here from here. So we suck everything out of this one. It's actually really satisfying to watch. The exponential slowing. Oh, it's so cool. Boop. All right, so that's done. And now, don't really need a pump anymore. Now I can just hook this up like it originally was, like we thought we were gonna do. And this is now natural gas. And then we need to hook up the tar? How's that tar? Oh, that tar's right there. Sorry, this one. The raw gas. There we go. Cool. So that's actually finished. Assuming we can stay supplied with gasoline, our natural gas production is now good to go. Sweet. And that's all hooked up. Okay. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. And then next is... okay, what did we say we were doing? The combs. We have to fill some combs. We need some Ulrichs. I already grabbed the arcads. We requested the Ulrichs and they're being provided. For Ulrichs. Or what have I been calling it? Ingredients? See, rather than inputs for kickalc, I did kickalc inputs. Do you see how that's confusing? I see how that's confusing. So like, I was doing like Ulrich's input, but really what I need to do is like things, everything for Ulrich's request, so that we can be consistent with our terminology. And this is Ulrich's provide. Okay. Anyway, where am I? I'm over here. Ulrich's should have shown up by now, and they did. I think I'm okay with them being fully buffered on that belt. I don't remember what my production rate was per second. 0.4? Yeah, that's fine. That's... six belts a minute of buffer. So I'm only wasting like 10 minutes if I do 60 belts. Yeah, that's not too bad. It's not like super great, but... All right, we also need Relasia. We got that. That's up here. Okay. All right, let's bring that down. Let's bring Ulrich's down. Okay. So, what are we doing here? So, step one is filling some combs. Okay, so we need the tall oil. That's what I forgot. I meant to do that. Shoot. Tall oil is gonna be up here. I wish the zoom level when you got into the train was different. It's always zoomed in, and I want it to be zoomed out. Putinator, if you're watching this, I don't know if that's possible for it to remember the zoom level, but it's always zoomed in way further than I want it to be. But that may be a default Factorio thing that cannot be modified. Anyway, tall oil is over here. Acetylene is filled up again, good. And it gets made in one of these buildings. Or so I thought. This one. Oh, wait. We don't use fiberboard for making circuits anymore? Wait, this used to be part of making circuits. At least I thought it did. Maybe it didn't. Okay, so anyway, that's what I was scared of. Okay. We might get lucky here. I'm not sure how the thing works. The sinkhole works. If we're lucky, yes! Okay, that's what I was hoping. We would get to keep all of that tall oil. So, we have this tall oil. Now I need the barreling machine to give me tall oil barrels. Okay. Now, I'm gonna move that over. And then we're gonna do an overflow to a sinkhole. So that way we just keep some tall oil for later. The black liquor apparently I thought was worth keeping. And I said screw you to the tall oil when that's the one I actually needed first. Okay. I also need sap and flora. Those are things I can... Oh, come on. Get the right direction. That would be another thing that I'm guessing is not possible for the quick ride mod to do, but would be really cool, is if it would force the train to be facing the correct direction based on, you know, which direction trains are allowed to travel. Obviously, in a bi-directional track, it would do what it does now, but it'd be cool if, like, since the train is only allowed to travel one direction, it would know which way that was. I'm guessing that's not possible in the game engine. Okay, so we also need sap, and what else did we say? I hate that there's not quite enough room here. Wait, what am I doing? Okay, first of all, we need queens before we can do anything with the repro complex. So let's ignore that for a minute. Not going to be able to do anything with the repro complex for a while. But there's a lot of different things here. So what we want is we need a loop. We need a loop to start to try to get an arcade queen. And to do that loop, we need an inflow of natural gas, honey barrels, and arcade nests. So to have a loop of arcade nests, we need to be... I think I'm starting to understand. You have to do the cDNA recipe about 1 billion times, I think. How did I not catch that before? Or did I catch it before and I just forgot? Because we're gonna need nests, which need maggots, which need eggs to run this. And every nest is 5 eggs. So on average, you need 100 nests, which is 500 eggs, which is 50 of the cDNA recipes for ARCADs. The good news is you get plenty of ARCAD modules out of doing that. But the bad news is that totally sucks. Okay, and I missed how we get the maggots. Oh, the maggots are actually made in a Vrauk paddock. Ugh. I feel bad. What's even weirder is we need Vrauks to run the show. You know what I mean? Okay, so let's go pick up some Vrauks. I don't know how many we'll have, but we don't need 1 million. I already got cages. We need to import the nat gas. I think I already put that in. Maybe not. Okay, that's definitely enough to get us started. And yeah, I am pretty sure I was correct about what I just said. So we're gonna need... That can't be right. Really? I guess this is why everyone complains about ARCADs. And not all the things we've already had to deal with. I guess technically we have another way to get ARCAD maggots. Is this reasonable? Probably not. But it is a weird way to bypass the need for the ARCAD eggs. But 1% is such a small chance. What's funny though is I'm not worried about any of the things except for the phytoplankton is kind of the pricey thing. Once you get flue gas to phytoplankton, that's awesome. It's slow, but that's awesome. But 3 jerky to 10 means 300 jerky and 300 biocrud gets us 1 ARCAD maggot. That means for 1 ARCAD nest, or the equivalent of 1 of the cDNA things, I would need 3,000 biocrud and 3,000 jerky. And 8,000 biomass. Okay, yeah, when I put it that way, it might be worth it to do the cDNA thing. It is unfortunate though. We're gonna need a lot of stuff. I'm gonna start with 60 cDNA here. Oh my god, I can't even think about the price. I mean, the codices. I need about 1 billion ARCAD codices. Please tell me I'm doing something wrong. I hope I'm doing this wrong. But let me just run through it one more time. To get our first ARCAD queen, we need... Oh, that's the wrong button. The only way to get a queen is either already having a queen or this recipe. That's it. That's it. We need 100 ARCAD nests or more, because variance is pretty high here. We have to roll a 100 on a D100 dice. And the only way to get ARCAD nests is ARCAD maggots, and the only way to get ARCAD maggots is... well, for now, is arcad eggs, and the only way for me to get arcad eggs without a queen is this recipe. Okay, I'm pretty convinced that I did all that right, and I'm pretty convinced that I'm a sad husk of a person at this very moment. No wonder everybody complains about these things. Okay, now, the real problem is the codices. Goodness. And I guess there's a lot of automation science going into this too, but that's a lot of circuits that we're gonna need. Okay, but we can at least get the Gambletron running, and as the Gambletron runs, good things will happen eventually. I say that, and yet we're sitting here noticing how there's no alert for my Ulrichs. Or Ulrichs, Vrauk Mark IIs. You know what? I actually need some more big power poles. Where are those being made? Oh, that's why I don't have a bunch, just because they're made in a weird spot over here. Somewhere. Where are they being made? Here. Okay. Anyway. God, I can't believe we need 60 circuits per arcad roll. And on average, you need to roll that 50 times. That's 3,000 circuits. 1,500 lamps. 6,000 tin cable. Definitely adds up. There's 10, 12. Another 6. Goodness. Okay, there's another 5. What am I out of? Oh, glass. 6. Okay, that was a 6th. And then I need 6, 6, 6. Okay, well, that's a bunch. Oh boy, that's okay. That, you know, that's why there's all these exclamation marks. It's because we're so excited to finally see a queen succeed, because it's gonna be an expensive process. Need a bunch more of this. Which is the one that needs a bunch? This is the one that needs a bunch. This one only needs a few. And then I'll start with like 25 generic samples. And I'm set up for 30 right now? No, 20. Yeah, I just realized the problem here. So we need a boiler. This pipe. We need a burner. Okay, those are fast enough on their own to do coke burning. Alright, so now that's set up. to just make enough coke oven gas. Okay, cool. That'll keep running. This'll keep running. So there's enough for 10 in there, which means we need to have 45 more in here. Oh my gosh, this is nuts. Oof. Okay, now I think I understand why everyone... I don't know how we missed this when we were looking through it. I mean, I know how it's a complex process. But yeah, for some reason I was thinking we would only need to spin up the combs and that would get us going. And I guess I hadn't really stopped too long to think about it, but I guess I would have just said, oh, people talk about arcads being terrible just because of how complex all this nonsense is. But no, it's because you need to make, on average, at least, well, okay, no, I shouldn't say that. On average, you need to make exactly 50 of these. And I made 6 already, and this is gonna be another like 20, but still. This is crazy. Okay, so right now we're exactly set up for 10 rounds. 10 more rounds. And inventory-wise, it looks like I can do 2 more after that. So then we'll have enough cDNA for 8 more. Something like that. I mean, I probably should automate the arcade codices, but I don't know. We just handcrafted enough for about half of the expected needed amount, so it's not going to be like awful. So this will keep pumping out arcade eggs once in a while, and more arcades. Cool. Cool. We'll leave that alone for now. Oh my gosh, we're 52 minutes into this episode. What? I literally just looked over at the time and I was expecting to see like 30. I was like, okay, we like, you know, about halfway through the episode. No, we are like needing to be done soon. That's crazy. I feel like I'm forgetting something going down here, but maybe not. Oh, don't we need Relasia or something? For the honeycomb. No, I think we're actually good to start doing stuff. So the first thing we need to do is get some honeycombs going, which is this. Which means the first thing I really need to do is make some honeycombs, which is made in a what? Casting unit with wax and hot air. Okay, so we got the hot air. We got the casting unit. If I can find it. There it is. Okay, and the first thing is to do this. Okay, got it. So then we need the wax, and the wax comes from the used combs, which comes from the just filled comb and an assembler, and the filled comb comes from the tall oil barrel, flora, empty comb, and sap. So I also need to bring in flora and sap. Maybe in a smaller request. Let's get flora and sap. -5. That's weird. The split filters per lane setting doesn't copy over. I wonder if it's a different entity. You know, it might actually be. And I actually think there's another reason why it might actually be that, is that there used to be a bug that when you would hit that button, it would duplicate your loaders. Which seems to imply that that certainly could be part of the problem. Okay, anyway, flora and sap. We'll get over here. For this one. This comes down, feeds this. Ah! Flora sap, empty comb, and tall oil barrel I already have. And that should give me empty barrels and filled combs. And then the filled combs, I empty. Where would it even be? Would I search for bitumen? Yes. That is what I do. So we do that. Feed it some fuel. And then the bitumen I could care less about. Sorry, I couldn't care less about. I'm pretty sure I don't give a crap about bitumen right now. I haven't even researched any recipes for bitumen. Oh, look at that. Bitumen is a very heavy mixture. We can get a lot of coke out of it with the residual mixture, and we can... It's mostly low distillates and some medium distillates, less of the condensates and high distillates. I love the fractional distillation stuff. It's so cool. Anyway, I will say that is one thing about Greg Tech in Minecraft that I really, really liked, which it was like all the, just the loops of that. Okay, and then the used combs go into a high pressure furnace, I think. Yeah. Let's do it this way so I don't have to work too hard. Okay. So what am I missing now? Why are you not running? Oh, I know what I'm missing. Some bees to do the filling. There they are. There they are. That's a good thing for the episode to end on. Is our first honeycomb filled by bee wasps. They are creepy and disgusting. Gigantic. Just imagine if one of those things got loose. No, thank you. No, thank you indeed. Alright, so that'll make filled combs. You know what I should do is this, because it'll also have the empty barrels. And then the hot air. Get that going. It's weird that you also use hot air and wax. Doesn't that seem a little odd to you guys? Seems a little odd to me. Hot air would melt the wax. Isn't the whole point that you need to cast it? I guess it's to keep it melted until it's finished casting or something. I don't know. This one makes a lot of sense. You're melting it with the hot air. This one makes a little less sense, but who knows? It could be kind of what I just said, where it's just like representing keeping it melted until you pour it into the mold finally and form it. There it is, our first wax, concrete for bees. All right, and we'll need our second version before we actually get our first 10 honeycombs. Oof, this is a process, but we'll call that an episode. In the next one, hopefully we'll get to start the queen loop at least. See if it actually accomplishes anything. Probably not for a few episodes, but anyway, as always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll see y'all in the next one.